ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतानः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Om. Dear friends, we completed this 43rd shloka in the last class. We have been seeing the duties which have been assigned for these four varnas, that is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Visham, Shudranam cha Parantapa. For these four varnas, what are the Swabhava Prabhavaha Gunaha and what are the duties assigned to them by the society? We have seen that Karmani Pravibhaktani Swabhava Prabhavair Gunaihi. That is a key sentence. And in that sentence, this Swabhava is the important word. And for that word, Shankaracharya has interpreted it in three ways. That is, not very different, almost similar, not totally different in, say, interpretation. That is, number one is Maya. That is Prakruti. Prakrutihi Trigunatmika Maya. So that is one first meaning for this word Swabhava. The second is Swabhava, which is seen by the predominance of a particular guna. Swabhava means the predominance of a particular guna in a person. Or the third meaning given is the manifestation of the previous samskaras in this particular birth. All the baggage of previous samskaras, they give rise to this new birth. So whatever say samskaras have been there, they have produced certain qualities, some say samskaras to starting point samskaras at this particular in this particular life. So these three meanings are given, and accordingly the society also has given the say allocated duties. For example, Satvaguna Pradhana Brahmana. So for him, then Shama, Dama, Tapaha, Shaucham, etc. etc. Then Rajoguna Pradhana Kshatriya. For him, Raja Pradhana Sattva Upasarjana. Sattva Upasarjana means Sattva is secondary and Raja Pradhanasya, Kshatriyasya, Shauryam, Tejaha, Dhruti, Shandharan, etc. etc. Then now we are going to see what are the say duties allotted for say this Vaishya and also for the Shudra, depending on the manifestation of the gunas in them. So that also Swabhava Prabhavair Gunaihi, that we have to see at every point. And also in the following shlokas, we are going to see that Sahajam Karma, Swabhava Prabhavair Gunaihi, this Swabhava, Sahaja, etc., we are going to see. So let us read this 44th shloka, which talks about the karmas, which are Pravibhakta for, say, the Vaishya and the Shudra. Krushi Gaurakshya Vanijyam Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam Paricharyatmakam Karma Shudrasya Piswabhavajam. Then Krushi Gaurakshya Vanijyam Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam. Normally, now we see around us, when we say Vaishya, we refer to one small trading community. Normally, we refer to one small trading community called Vaishyas or Guptas in North India, or some other names, some Agarwals maybe, or some such name. But then you see this definition, Krushi. Krushi means agriculture. So all the people who are tilling our farms, tilling our lands, they are all these Krushivalas. So all these people who are there, who live by Vyavasayam, who live by agriculture, all those people are categorized in that. Krushi. Gaurakshya. Go-raksha means go is say cow or bull, whatever it is. Go-raksha, protection, and then in those days, because cattle wealth was the main wealth. So Go-raksha. Go-rakshasya bhavaha Gaurakshyam. Gaurakshyam becomes the duty. Tadhita pratyaya. Gaurakshyam. Go-rakshasya idam Gaurakshyam. So Vanijyam, Vanik is a trader. So now we have restricted the meaning only to the trader. We are not including the cowherd, which our own Lord Krishna is. Lord Krishna is a cowherd. Then Krushi, all the farmers we have not included. say many sections of this, many sections of the society till recently, they were all wearing this sacred thread. If you have seen, if you are from a village, say you will see that lot many people from various, say so-called castes, they do wear this janu. For example, goldsmith wears, and then the weaver wears, and then there are some other category of people who wear this sacred thread, which means they are also in the last stages of giving up. Just as the Brahmins are also in the last stages of giving up the sacred thread, they are also in the last stages of giving up the thread. So till say maybe about say 100 years ago or so, probably all those people, they were also wearing janu, and all those people, they were also learning something. So all that was there, but there is a great change in society. This social change is something which has totally not upset, it has totally changed the picture, and then we are not able to know what exactly was there about 100 years ago. Okay, here Krushi Gaurakshya Vanijyam Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam. So this is the Swabhavajam karma, this Swabhava, the same word Swabhava, the meaning which was given by Shankaracharya can be kept in mind. The predominance of a particular guna in a particular person. So for those people who are endowed with those gunas, these are the duties allotted. So that is how we have to take it. Could say then Paricharyatmakam karma, Shudrasyapi. For this Shudra, what is the karma? Paricharya. Paricharya means attending on. Paricharati. So you say, okay, call, who is there? So that man comes Paricharati. So Paricharya is somebody who is attending on you, somebody who does various errands of you. So that sort of karma. In every office you find this, in every society you find this. You go to a hotel, the person, the steward or somebody who gets the plate, etc., etc. Technically, he has to be called a Shudra. So all the attendant activities, all those things, so all the service activities, they come under this thing called Shudra. So Paricharyatmakam karma, Shudrasyapi Swabhavajam. Swabhavajam means by nature. That is his nature. He has no initiative. He has even if there is a computer worker, they are called knowledge workers. So a computer worker who is only doing some data entry, etc., etc., he is as good as this only. So he may not be literally bringing tea or something like that, but he has not evolved. He has not grown. So that is the meaning of this. So anyway, so let us read the Bhashyam. Krushi Gaurakshya Vanijyam.
Krushi Gaurakshya Vanijyam.
Krushischa Gaurakshya cha Vanijyam cha.
Krushischa Gaurakshya cha Vanijyam cha.
Krushi Gaurakshya Vanijyam.
Krushi Gaurakshya Vanijyam.
Krushihi Bhumer Vilekhanam.
Krushihi Bhumer Vilekhanam.
Gau Rakshati iti Gorakshaha.
Gau Rakshati iti Gorakshaha.
Tadbhavo Gaurakshyam Pashupalyam.
Tadbhavo Gaurakshyam Pashupalyam.
Vanijyam Vanikkarma.
Vanijyam Vanikkarma.
Kraya Vikrayadi Lakshanam.
Kraya Vikrayadi Lakshanam.
Vaishya Karma Vaishya Jatehe Karma Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam.
Vaishya Karma Vaishya Jatehe Karma Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam.
Okay. Krushi Gaurakshya Vanijyam, he is explaining that. Krushischa Gaurakshyam cha Vanijyam cha. Krushi Gaurakshya Vanijyam. It is something like, it is again a Samahara Dvandva Samasa. Then Krushihi Bhumehe Vilekhanam. Vilekhanam means say furrow. You take a furrow and then you furrow the land. That is what is called Dunnadam. We call it in Dunnadam. That is furrowing, tilling that land with the help of a furrow. So that is what is called Vilekhanam. Lekhana literally means writing. But here you are taking a furrow and then you are drawing lines on the ground, isn't it? It is something like writing. It is drawing lines or something like furrowing the land. That is what is called Vilekhanam. Then Gau Rakshati iti Gorakshaha. That is protecting the cow or protecting the say go jati, let us say. That is what is called Gaurakshyam. Gaurakshasya bhavaha Gaurakshyam. That is Pashupalyam. Pashum palayati iti Pashupalaha. One who tends on say cattle, a cattle herd. So he is called Pashupati or Pashupala, not Pashupati, Pashupala. So Pashupalyam is Tadbhavaha. Again one Tadhita Pratyaya. Pashupalyam. Then Vanijyam, Vanik Karma. Vanik is a trader. Vanik Karma. Kraya Vikrayadi Lakshanam. Kraya is say selling, buying. Vikraya is selling. Yeah, Vikraya is selling. Krayam is buying. Then Vikrayadi Lakshanam. Vaishya Karma, Vaishya Jatehe Karma. This, all these duties are allotted to say the person who is called a Vaishya, who has predominantly this quality of generating wealth. Basically, it is not a bad quality. It is something which is required for the society. So this is Vaishya karma, this is Raja Upasarjana, Tama Upasarjana, Raja Pradhanasya Vaishyasya. So that was the definition. So Tama is the secondary, Rajas is the primary, where Rajas motivated by this acquisitiveness, say desire for wealth, etc. So all those things are there. So this particular jati has been given these duties. Then Paricharyatmakam Shushrusha Swabhavam Karma Shudrasyapi Swabhavajam. So for someone who doesn't have say initiative in life, someone who is dull, somebody who doesn't say have that enterprise, etc. So for him, Shushrusha Swabhavam. Shushrusha means service. But literally speaking, Shushrusha is the desire to listen. Shrotum Ichha is Shushrusha. Shrotum Ichha is Shushrusha. That is the desire to listen. Is Shushrusha. But here, of course, we have to take the Rudhyartha. There is what is called a Yogic Artha and there is what is called a Rudhyartha. Yogic Artha is by, say, the etymologically, what is the meaning derived. So that is by yoga of the words, by the combination of words, what is the meaning derived. Whereas Rudhyartha is what is the established meaning in practice. Over a period of time, a particular word acquires a particular meaning. So that is what the Rudhyartha. So Shushrusha means seva, service. So that is Shudrasyapi Swabhavajam. Then Yetesham Jati Vihitanam Karmanam Samyak Anushtitanam Swarga Praptihi Phalam Swabhavataha. So he is quoting one line. Yetesham Jati Vihitanam Karmanam. For all these karmas which have been prescribed according to the jati, we are seeing the word jati here. You see, jati means born in a particular family. So a person, there are two things which you have to see. One is varna, which is a manifestation of particular gunas. So then this particular man, he is in that Vaishya varna or Kshatriya varna, and his son is born to him. So immediately he can't discard and then he can't send to some laboratory to test whether this fellow belongs to, say, he is having Sattva guna or Rajo guna. He can't send him to a laboratory. So naturally he inherits all those qualities and all those duties rather. He inherits all those duties by virtue of jati. By virtue of jati he inherits. Maybe after some time he may prove to be a failure, or he may have interest in jnana and then he will become a jnani and then he will become a brahmana. So that sort of thing. In fact, in the last class I was giving the examples from Bhagavatam, where Rishabhadeva's sons, some of them they do yajnas and then they, by virtue of their actions, they become brahmanas. So I read those lines from Mahabhagavatam. Say that is that 5th skandha. So like that, Yetesham Jati Vihitanam Karmanam, of all these karmas which have been prescribed according to the jati, Samyak Anushtitanam Swarga Praptihi Phalam Swabhavataha. Swabhavataha means naturally, as a consequence, as a natural consequence, Swarga Prapti is the phalam. They attain Swarga. When Samyak Anushtitanam, if they perform in a very, very sincere manner, Samyak Anushtitanam, you perform sincerely and then you go to heaven. So that is the thing which society has told, because a social order has to be maintained. A Brahmana's son has to perform those duties very sincerely and then he has to play his role in the society. A Kshatriya, he has to perform his assigned duties and he has to play his role properly. Similarly, the other people also have to play their role so that the society lives in harmony. So this sort of thing was existing. So Karmanam Samyak Anushtitanam Swarga Praptihi Phalam Swabhavataha. Then he quotes one line from Gautama Dharma Sutra. Varnaha ashramascha swakarmanishtaha
Varna ashramascha swakarmanishtaha
Pretya karma phalam anubhuya Tatah sheshena Vishishta Desha Jati Kula Dharma Yushruta what is that? Shruta Vrutta Vitta Sukhamedha So Janma. I will read again. Vishishta Desha Jati Kula Dharma Yushruta Vrutta Vitta Sukhamedha Saha
विशिष्ट देश जाति कुल धर्मायुश्रुत वृत्त वित्त सुख मेधसः
जन्म प्रतिपद्यन्ते इत्यादि स्मृतिभ्यः. So there is a smriti. What is this Gautama Dharma Sutra? There are so many Dharma Sutras for us. Apastamba Dharma Sutra, Ashvalayana Sutra, Gautama Dharma Sutra, etc. etc. In this Gautama Dharma Sutra, there is one line which says Varnaha Ashramascha. Varnaha means not exactly the Varnas, Varninaha. That is those who are in that Varna. Varna doesn't refer to the Varna as itself, but those who are in the Varna. Varnaha means Varninaha, those who are in that Varna. Ashramaha means Ashraminaha, that is those who are in that Ashrama. So Varnaha refers to Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. Ashramaha refers to a brahmachari, a grihastha, a vanaprasthi and a sannyasi. So ashraminaha, those who are in various ashramas. Then swakarma nishthaha. Why? By being perfect in their anushtanam, in their swakarma, anushtanam of swakarma, by performing their duty properly. Then pretya. Pretya means having departed. Pretya, karma phalam anubhuvya. And having experienced this karma phalam, what is the karma phalam? Swargam. Swarga is the karma phala. Karma phalam anubhuvya. Anubhuvya means having experienced. Then tatasheshena. Then thereafter some little bit of some remnants of that. Shesha means something remaining. Tatasheshena. But say as part of it, let us say. Tatasheshena means as part of it. Shesha also means part of it. So tatasheshena means as part of it, or by way of bonus, let us say, because if all karma phala is over, then what else is remaining? Then he has to be literally thrown onto the ground, isn't it? So that doesn't happen. So naturally we presume that he enjoys some good status there in Swarga, and some little bit as a bonus or something like that, he is born in a good family. So that is what is being shown here. Tatasheshena Vishishta Desha Jati Kula. In a Vishishta Desha, you are not born in some Ethiopia or some such place, but you are born in a very good country, maybe say, let us say India. Why not say India only? Why Switzerland? So Vishishta Desha, Vishishta Jati, you are born in a nice family, good family, where there is some good sampradaya in a good system, and your parents are good, and then all the people say all Swadharma Nishtha, etc. etc. Vishishta Jati, Vishishta Kula, this Vishishta can be applied to all the things. Vishishta Desha, Vishishta Jati, Vishishta Kula, and Vishishta Dharma, and also good Dharma. Ayuhu, Ayu is good, long life rather. Ayu means long life. Ayuhu. Shruta, Vitta, Vrutta. Sorry, Shruta means fame. Shrutaha, Shrutam. What is fame? Very famous. Then Vrutta means character. Shruta, Vrutta is character. Then Vitta means money. Shruta, Vrutta, Vitta. Sukham Edhasaha. Sukham and also Medha, Buddhi. So all these things, they are endowed with all these things. So you see how well Gautama has told about, say, Swakarma Anusthana. Vishishta Desha Jati Kula Dharma Shruta Vrutta Vitta Sukhamekhasaha Janma Pratipadyante. Pratipadyante means they do attain. Ityadi Smrutibhyaha, from Smrutis which say like this. Then Puranecha Varninam Ashraminam cha Loka Phala Bheda Vishesha Smaranat. Okay. Puranecha, even in the Puranas, Varnanam, Ashraminam, Varninam. Varni is one who is in a particular Varna. Varninam, for the people in different Varnas, and Ashraminam, for the people in different ashramas. For all of them, Loka Phala Bheda Vishesha. So it has been said, okay, fall of this particular Varna, so if he has done all these good deeds, he will go to this particular Loka. Or some other gentleman who by performing his Swadharma, he will go to this particular Loka. Loka means Lokyate iti lokaha janmani, lokyante iti lokaha janmani. That line we have to remember from Shankaracharya's Bhashyam of what is that, either in Kathopanishad or some such place we have seen. No, Ishavasya itself, Lokyante iti lokaha janmani. So they will be born in such nice families, good families, etc. Loka, Phala, Bheda, Vishesha, Smaranat. All those distinctions have been very clearly told in some Puranas. Then karanantarastvidam vaksyamanam phalam.
Karanantarattu idam vaksyamanam phalam.
Karanantarat tu idam vaksyamanam phalam. Karanantarat. So here we have seen Swadharma is being performed, say, with the intention of, say, Swarga. Here, all these things, Dana Vishwara Bhavascha, etc., Shudra Karma Swabhavajam. And then Gautama Dharma Sutra is telling about somebody who is performing his Swadharma in order to attain Swarga. So that is being told. But Karanantarat means not for the sake of heaven, but for the sake of Chitta Shuddhi. Karanantarat you can note down. Karanantara means for a different reason. Karanantarat tu means on the other hand. Karanantarat for a different reason. And what is the different reason here? Not for the sake of Swarga, but for the sake of Chitta Shuddhi. That means we are now switching on to Karma Yoga. We are now switching on to, say, doing this karma with an Ishwararpana Buddhi. So we are switching on to that. So that is being pointed out here. Karanantarattu idam vaksyamanam phalam. So if these same karmas are performed for a different reason, and what is that different reason? Reason not for Swarga, but for Chitta Shuddhi. So then the vaksyamanam phalam, the result which is going to be told. What is that in the next shloka? Let us read this shloka. Sve sve karmanyabhiratah samsiddhim labhate naraha. Sorry, naraha. Swakarma niratas siddhim yatha vindati tachrunu. Sve sve karmani abhiratah naraha. So a naraha means a person. A person, what type of person? Sve sve karmani abhiratah. Sve karmani, in one's own karma, in one's own allotted karma, in one's own vihita karma. Vihita karma again is by the society, and that society also has taken into consideration the svabhava prabhavaihi gunaihi. So svabhava prabhavaha gunaha are taken into consideration, and then society has given him some tasks, and then by performing those tasks in a very, very meticulous way, with Ishwararpana Buddhi, not for the Swarga, but with Ishwararpana Buddhi, Sve Sve Karmani Abhiratah. Abhiratah means Abhi plus Rati. Rati means Preeti, Prema. That is, Abhirati means sincerity, very sincerely. Sorry? Yeah, not only willingness, but very sincerely. Willingness with great love and dedication. Abhirati. Abhirataha is one who is having abhirati is abhirata. So one who is very sincerely in a dedicated way performing these duties. Then samsiddhim labhate naraha. Naraha, a person, samsiddhim labhate. So the meaning of this samsiddhi, we have to see the meaning. It cannot be siddhi in the sense of naishkarmya siddhi or anything. Because by doing a karma you cannot attain siddhi. Karma is only, say, what is it called? Arad upakarakam, not sakshad upakarakam. We have seen two words called arad upakarakam and distantly connected and directly connected. Sakshad upakarakam is directly connected. Jnanam is sakshad upakarakam. Then karma is arad upakarakam. Arad means remotely connected. So, and also we have seen nasti akrutah krutena. So that word also we have seen in Upanishad somewhere. Nasti akrutaha krutena. Akrutaha means moksha, which is something which is akrutam, which is not acquired by any particular deed, not by a particular karma. That is akrutaha. Akrutaha krutena nasti. Krutena means by a karma, by a particular karma. It is not there. Nasti akrutah krutena. So that word we have seen. So karma is not sakshat karanam for moksha. So here, that is why Shankaracharya gives the meaning as samsiddhi means jnana nishtha yogyata, he gives the meaning. So sves nastyakruta krutena. So that is the line. So sve sve karmani abhiratah naraha samsiddhim labhate. He attains this samsiddhi. Samsiddhi means not moksha directly, but yogyata for that jnana nishtha. Yogyata for jnana nishtha. So he has to again go to the school, he has to go to that, what is that, Shrotriya Brahmanishta. So Shrotriya Brahmanishta is something which is unavoidable, inescapable rather, something which is inescapable. He has to go to that place and then he has to take some darbha and whatnot, and then he has to go there, and then he has to go through that mill of Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. So then, next line, Swakarma Nirataha Siddhim Yatha Vindati Tat Shrunu. Swakarma Nirataha. So Nirataha and Abhirataha are one and the same. Ni plus Rataha, Abhi plus Rataha. Only Upasarga is different. Swakarma Nirataha means Swakarmani Nirataha. One who is highly dedicated in his own, for his own duty. So that person, Siddhim Yatha Vindati, in what manner he attains that Siddhi, Tat Shrunu, that I am going to say, you please listen. So that is what he says. Where is this? Okay, Sve Sve Yathokta Lakshana Bhede.
Sve Sve Yathokta Lakshana Bhede.
Yathokta Lakshana Bhede.
Yathokta Lakshana Bhede.
Karmani Abhirataha Tatparaha.
Karmani Abhirataha Tatparaha.
Samsiddhim Swakarmanushthanad Ashuddhikshaye Sati.
Samsiddhim
Swakarmanushthanad
Ashuddhikshaye Sati.
Kayendriyanam Jnana Nishtha Yogyata Lakshanam.
Kayendriyanam Jnana Nishtha Yogyata Lakshanam.
Labhate Prapnoti.
Labhate Prapnoti.
Naraha Adhikrutaha Purushaha.
Naraha Adhikrutaha Purushaha.
Okay, Sve Sve means in one's own sway. That is Yathokta Lakshana Bhede. All those Lakshana Bheda, that definition, Lakshana is definition. Yathokta Lakshana Bheda, all those things have been very different, very clearly differentiated. Yathokta Lakshana. What are the duties for one Varna, another Varna, etc. They have been distinguished and told. Then Karmani Abhirataha. Abhirataha means Tatparaha. Tatpara is again a beautiful word. That itself is the param. That bhava is tatparatvam. So, not deviating from that. Tat is param. That is supreme. This is my path. So, with that frame of mind, he dedicatedly does his task. So, that is tatparatvam. So, by doing that, samsiddhim. So, what is samsiddhi? Swakarmanushthanad ashuddhikshaye sati. So this Ashuddhikshaya, Ashuddhi means Chittamalam, Chittamalasya Kshaya. So this disappears, all the Chittamalam disappears. He doesn't envy seeing others. He doesn't envy that this fellow is doing this, I am not doing that. He doesn't envy. This is what is assigned duty. I will do this duty and I am going to attain it. I am doing it in the interest of the universal order. With that Ishwararpana Buddhi, I am doing it as an order from the Lord. With that Ishwararpana Buddhi, he does that karma. Then with that, all this Chitta Malam is gone. And then because of that, Kayendriyanam Jnana Nishtha Yogyata. Kaya Indriyanam. Kaya means the whole body. Indriyanam, we should also include Manas. Not only sense organs, but also Manas. Jnana Yogyata Nishtha. Jnana Nishtha Yogyata. Jnana Nishtha Yogyata. Jnana Nishtayam Yogyata. That is, Yogyata means eligibility, suitability for this Jnana Nishtha. So he becomes eligible for this Jnana Nishtha. Which means a Shudra who performs his duty in a dedicated way, he also becomes eligible for this Jnana Nishtha. A Vaishya who does his duty perfectly, he becomes eligible for this Jnana Nishtha. He may not study Upanishad, or he may not go through the way of, Shravana Manana Nididhyasana through, this Acharya. But he will become a Jnani through Puranas. So in olden days, there were two systems. One is, you go through the process of this Veda, learning of the Vedas and Upanishads. The other was by way of Purana. Purana was also supposed to lead a person to moksha only. Whatever was there in Veda, it was told in the Puranas only. So there were two paths given. But of course, now there is no such thing as two paths. Everybody is entitled to read the Upanishad. Everybody is reading Upanishads now. So, Jnana, I am just telling you basically to see how the distinction was made in those days. So, Jnanishta Yogyata. And it is very clearly saying that anybody, he attains that Jnanishta Yogyata. So, in what manner Shudra was having that Jnanishta Yogyata? By the way of Puranas. So, the two paths were there. Purana was one path, then again this other thing was one path. The Veda, going to a Guru, was another path. So, of course, even Vaishya, they were entitled for Vedic studies. Only the Shudra was not entitled for the Vedic studies. So for this man, all these Puranas, etc., Ramayana, Mahabharata, etc., he was very much entitled to read Gita. And the Gita again is a summary of all the Upanishads. So this man is reading a guide and then getting moksha. And then that man is reading the textbook and getting moksha. You can say like that. Because Gita is something like the guide. So he is reading the guide and getting moksha. Whereas that man is reading the textbook and getting moksha. So that is the only difference. Whereas both the people are entitled for moksha. So more lakshanam labhate prapnoti naraha adhikrutaha. Adhikrutaha means one who is, adhikrutaha means, for example, a sannyasi. Sannyasi is adhikruta for certain karmas. He should not say, I will do yajna and all that. So he has to do something else, jnana nishtha only. Similarly, gruhastha should not say, I will give up, etc. So he will have to perform his duty. Adhikrutaha, in whatever karma he is adhikruta, he has to perform that. Adhikrutaha purushaha. Then, kim svakarmanushthanata eva sakshat samsiddhihi?
Kim svakarmanushthanata eva sakshat samsiddhihi?
A question. Oh, is it merely by merely performing, say, svakarma, are you going to attain samsiddhi? No, he is going to say, that is, now we are coming to this point of Ishwararpana Buddhi. I told you in advance, but now Krishna is saying now. Kim svakarmanushthanata eva sakshat. Sakshat means directly. Are you going to get jnana nishtha yogyatas directly by merely doing svakarmanusthana? Na. Katham tarhi. How then? Katham tarhi means how then? Svakarma nirataha. Siddhim yatha yena prakarena vindati tat shruno. So this is the second line. Svakarma nirataha. That is one who is abhirata, nirata in one's own karma. In what manner is he going to get some samsiddhi? I am going to tell you, you listen. So that is it. Yatha vindati, how he attains, I am going to tell you. Let us read this shloka. Yatah pravrittir bhutanam. Pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam. Svakarmana tamabhyarchya. Siddhim vindati manavaha. So this is a very oft quoted shloka. You can also put a tick mark and so that you can remember it. Yatah pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam svakarmana tamabhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha. It's a beautiful shloka, very oft quoted. So yataha pravrittihi bhutanam. Bhutanam means of all the beings. Bhavanti iti bhutani. All the things which come into existence, they are the bhutani, isn't it? Pravritti means origin. Yataha pravrittihi. Yataha means from where? From where? Where from has it come? Yato va imani bhutani jayante ye najata nijivanti. So that's in the yat prayantyabhisam vishanti tad vijigyasasva. That of course Taittiriya Upanishad that is going to say that. That is, what is that yataha? Not directly from Brahma. We are talking about this Mayopadhikam Chaitanya. Mayopadhika Chaitanyam is that Ishvara, isn't it? From that on, that is the Upadana Karanam and also Nimitta Karanam. Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam. And from that only all these things are emerging, isn't it? We are talking about that Ishvara, the cosmic, being, or the cosmic intellect. So, Yataha Pravrittir Bhutanam is referring to that Mayopadhikam Chaitanyam, that cosmic intellect. Bhutanam pravrittihi yataha, that is from where that origin of all the beings is there. That is that Mayopadhikam Chaitanyam, not Shuddha Chaitanyam. Then yena sarvamidam tatam, by which everything else is pervaded. Tatam. Tatam means vyaptam. Tanoti dhatu. Tanu dhatu. Tanu vistare. Tatam is vyaptam. Tantra, the word tantra also is from that only. Tanu vistare. That is tatam is vyaptam, pervaded. That is the correct thing. Vyaptam is pervaded. That is antaryami. That Ishvara is the antaryami in everything. That is the indwelling spirit, the indwelling consciousness which is enabling everything. So that is it. Then swakarmana abhyarchya. Swakarmana tam abhyarchya is tam. Tam means yataha pravritti bhutanam yena sarvamitham pratam. Tam means tam Ishwaram. Tam Ishwaram. Abhyarchya means by worshipping that Lord. Abhyarchya, Lyepa Pratyaya, Abhi plus Archya. Abhyarchya, Archa dhatu, Archayati. Abhyarchya. By what? Not by doing bhajana and all that, by swakarma. By doing swakarma, swakarmana tamabhyarchya, by doing your work itself is worship. Work is worship, you can note down. This is a beautiful idea which has come. So work is worship. So that is where we are now. We need not learn from somebody, some modern management man. So this swakarmana tamabhyarchya, by your work alone is your worship. Then siddhim vindati manavaha, a person attains a siddhi. Siddhi means jnana nishtha yogyata lakshana. So that is 1 second. Swakarmana tamabhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha. Manavaha means a human being, any human being. He attains siddhi, that jnana nishtha yogyata, by doing his work in a sincere way, as an order from the Lord. In other words, with Ishwararpana buddhi, as his duty to the samashti. So that way. So then let us see is shloka clear? So now in this thing, what we are seeing in this shloka is particularly the basic, the point is karma yoga only, nothing else. Karma yoga, what he says is, this siddhi is not by mere karma. Siddhi, whatever siddhi he is talking about, it is not by mere karma, but doing karma with an Ishwararpana buddhi. So that is the point told in this shloka. Yataha yasmat pravrittihi utpattihi chestava yasmad antaryaminaha ishwarat bhutanam praninam syad yena ishwarena sarvamidam jagat tatam vyaptam swakarmana purvoktena प्रतिवर्णम तम ईश्वरम अभ्यर्च्य पूजयित्वा आराध्य केवलम ज्ञान निष्ठा योग्यता लक्षणां सिद्धिं विन्दति मानवः मनुष्यः. Okay. Yataha means yasmat, from where. Yataha pravrittihi, utpatti means origin. Chestava, chesta means activity. All the activities, all the indriyas, the mind, etc., all the chesta, all the movements are from that only. Because all these indriyas, they are again say derivatives from the 5 tanmatras, and the whole body is from the Panchamahabhutas. So all this is the whole thing is a derivative of that. This is a karyam of all that thing. So that is bhutanam utpattihi chesta. Chesta is activity. Then yasmad antaryaminaha ishwarat, from that Ishwara who is also the antaryami. Antaryami is yo antah sthitva yamayati. Yo antaryamayati antah sthitva sarvesham bhutanam antah sthitva yamayati. That is one who exists in all the beings, and antaha yamayati. Yamayati means to control. Yamadhatu. Yamaniyam pranayama. Yamadhatu is control. One who controls. Indwelling self which controls everything. So antasthitva yamayati. That is antaryami. Antaryami brahmanam. This is a very, very important brahmanam in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Antaryami brahmanam. So that line, is it quoted somewhere?
No.
Let me see. No, not by Shankaracharya, but Madhusudana Saraswati also, I think he has not quoted this line. Yatah pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam tasmad ushtavindati manavaha. He has not quoted. Yasmad pravrittihi bhutanam yena ishwarena ishwaragusam sarvamidam karanat okitam paramatmanam swakarmana prati abhyarchya. Okay, that line is not quoted. Antaryami brahmana, yo antaryamayati, something like that is there. So Ishwarat bhutanam praninam syat. What syat? Pravrittihi syat. Yasmat pravrittihi utpattihi yasmad antaryaminaha praninam syat. Praninam utpattihi yasmad antaryaminaha syat. So utpatti syat. Utpatti has to be connected with this word syat. So from which antaryami, from which Ishvara, the utpatti of all beings is taking place. Syat means that is taking place. Utpatti syad. Then yena Ishvarena, by which Ishvara, sarvamidam jagat tatam, the whole universe is vyaptam. Then swakarmana purvoktena, by this karma, by one's own karma which has been told above. We have seen these 3-4 slokas above. Then Prativarnam means every varna. That is any person who is in any varna. All persons who are in different varnas. Tam Ishwaram Abhyarchya. Abhyarchya means Pujayitva Kevalam. Abhyarchya Pujayitva Aradhya Kevalam. That is with the only idea that this is worship. Kevalam means only. Kevalam is only, isn't it? With the only idea that this is the worship, this is my form of worship. There is no need for different again doing some bhajana, doing some other thing and all that. By doing your work alone, Aradhya Kevalam, by merely doing that work alone, then Jnana Nishtha Yogyata Lakshanam Siddhim. So that he attains that Siddhi. What is that Siddhi? Which is of the nature of Jnana Nishtha Yogyata Lakshanam, which is of the nature of Jnana Nishtha Yogyata, that is attaining eligibility for that Jnana Nishtha. Vindati Manavaha Manusyaha. Every person, he attains that thing. So that is it. Then Yata Eva Mataha. Yata Eva Mataha means because of this. Yataha Eva means because this whole structure is like this. Ataha therefore. Yata Eva Mataha. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha. Paradharmat Swanushtitat Swabhavaniyatam Karma Kurvan Apnoti Kilbisham. One second. So this again is one sloka which is quoted quite often. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharmat Swanushtitat. The same line has come earlier also in the 3rd Adhyaya. There the second line was different. First line is same. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharmat Swanushtitat Swadharme Nidhanam Shreyaha Paradharmo Bhayavaha. That was there. Here the first line is same. Second line is slightly changed. Swabhavaniyatam karma kurvan na apnoti kilvisham. So Shreyan Swadharmaha Vigunaha. Vigunaha api. That api we have to do some adhyahara. Vigunaha api means though it appears to be defective, though it is something which is unpleasant to you, though it is something which is not pleasing to you. Vigunaha. So here we are talking about Arjuna. Arjuna is now talking about taking up Brahmaji Bhikshatanam. So the point is about Arjuna who wants to give up his swakarma and then who wants to take up Bhikshatanam. So and then what is the reason given? So there is a lot of himsa involved in this. So what Dharma says is a Kshatriya is jolly well supposed to face bullets. He is supposed to fire some bullets and also supposed to face bullets. So that is the point. So a Kshatriya who is sitting in the war zone, he cannot say no, I can't do this. This is all himsa, etc., etc. He cannot say it is his duty, his dharma. So that is the point. Vigunaha api, though it appears rather defective and then appears to be having some faults, Vigunaha api, Swadharmaha Shreyan. One's own dharma is Shreyan. Shreyan means that which will lead you to Shreyas. That which is on the path of Shreyas. There is what is called Shreyas and Preyas. So Shreyan is, that is something which is superior. Here of course it is, what can we say? Shreyan is superior, which is the right thing, which leads you to that Shreyas path as against the Preyas path. Then Paradharmat Swanushtitat. Shreyan, from what? Shreyan compared to what? Compared to Paradharma, even if you want to do begging in a most perfect way, Swanushtitat means Su plus Anushtitat, Samyak Anushtitat. So even if you want to perform that Bhikshatanam in a very, very perfect manner, you will be a perfect beggar. So Paradharmat Swanushtitat. Arjuna wants to be a perfect beggar, he says. So Paradharmat, this Paradharma, this begging is Paradharma, Su Anushtitat. So Anushtitat. Then Swabhavaniyatam karma. Again we have come to the same word, Swabhavaniyatam karma. One is the karma which has been assigned to you depending on your Swabhava. Your Swabhava is this, your nature is this, your predominant nature is this. Suddenly you are now in a delusion. Your whole personality has been built up in a particular way. Suddenly you have come to some sort of delusion or some sort of say disorientation. So our Lord Krishna's duty is to see that the disorientation disappears. So that is the problem. So svabhavaniyatam karma kurvan means by doing that, na apnoti kilbisham. Kilbisham means papam. Kilbisham is papam. Something papam means going to hell, etc. Going to hell, etc. That na apnoti means he will not get that. He will not attain that. Shreyan swadharma. That swadharma we have seen. That is swabhava. That is varna dharma, which is described, which is assigned as per swabhava. And then jati dharma, which is also not different from that, because jati dharma has been evolved by the society. I told you yesterday, one is something like the central law and then another is the state law. So this is whatever is, that is Krishna's rule and our local rule, central rule and local rule. So like that, jati dharma is again in accordance with the Constitution of India. So like that, a local law should be in accordance with the Constitution of India. So similarly, this jati dharma is again in accordance with what Krishna has prescribed earlier. So jati dharma and also varna dharma, they are according to swabhava only. So that is the swadharma. Then is the shloka clear?
Yes.
Okay, let us read the bhashyam. Shreyan prashasyataraha swadharmaha swadharmaha vigunopi iti api shabdah drashtavyah. Paradharmat swanushthitat स्वभाव नियतम स्वभावेन नियतम यदुक्तम स्वभावजमिति तदेवोक्तम स्वभाव नियतमिति. Okay, or we will read this line later. Up to paradharmat swanushthitat, up to that point we will read. Shreyan means prashasya taraha, praiseworthy. Prashasya, prashasti, prakarshena shamsati. Prashasti, you know. Shamsanam, prashamsanam, you know. Prashamsan is praising. Prashamsa, you know the word prashamsa, praising. Prashasya taraha, praiseworthy. It is more praiseworthy. Prashasya taraha. Swadharmaha, that is one's own dharma, one's own allotted dharma. Vigunaha api. Iti api shabdaha drashtavyah. That means api shabda has to be taken as an adhyahar. Drashtavyah means to be seen. Of course, it is not there. It has to be seen means it has to be taken as an adhyahara. Api shabdaha has to be taken as adhyahara. Then from prasasyatara with reference to what? Paradharmat. Paradharmat swanushthitat. It is superior when compared to the paradharma which is well performed or better performed. Suppose you want to do this Krishna, Arjuna wants to be a better beggar. You can't be a better beggar. You have to be a good fighter only. So that is it. Paradharmat swanushthitat. Swabhava niyatam, swabhavena niyatam. So you see this word again. Yaduktam swabhavajamiti tadeva uktam. Whatever has been told earlier as swabhavajam. Yat uktam swabhavajamiti. Whatever has been told as swabhavajam earlier. Tadeva uktam. The same thing is being told here. Tadeva uktam swabhava niyatamiti. So whatever that swabhava prabhavair gunaihi, whatever has been told there, the same meaning has to be taken everywhere for that word swabhava. स्वभाव नियतमिति. यथा विषजातस्येव कृमेः विषजातस्येव कृमेः विषं न दोषकरं तथा स्वभावनियतं कर्म कुर्वन् नाप्नोति किल्बिषं पापम्. So this is an example which is a wonderful example given by Vishakriminyaya. Vishakriminyaya means there is poison. A whole poisonous rotting substance is there. In that poisonous rotting substance also there are some small krimis, there are some small insects, there are some small say poisonous animals. So that, how is that surviving? If a man consumes that, he will die. Whereas that krimi is born in that, it grows in that, it lives by that. So Vishakriminyayena jivamyaham, there is a shloka also. Tat kim jivasi he sakhe Vishakriminyayena jivamyaham, there is a shloka like that. There is a Samskrita nyaya called Vishakriminyaya. Vishakriminyaya means just you are in a very, very bad environment and then you are born in that environment, you grow in that environment and then a person also survives in that environment, that is Vishakriminyaya. Of course, here it is used in a slightly positive sense. Vishakriminyaya is used in a positive sense because you are referring to swadharma. We are not referring to rotten society, we are referring to swadharma. So, yatha vishajatasyeva krimehe. Just as a krimi means an insect which is vishajatam. Vishe jatam, that is something which is born in a poison. Visham na doshakaram, for that krimi, krumehe, means for that krimi, krumehe is shashti ekavachanam, krumehe, visham na doshakaram. This visham, the poison, is not harmful. Na doshakaram means it doesn't do any harm. It is not harmful to that. Tatha, likewise, swabhavaniyatam karma, the karma which is assigned to you according to your swabhava, that kurvan, by doing that, na apnoti kilbisham. Here, Arjuna's dilemma is that he is in this situation where he has to fight people and then he has to wage a war and whatnot. So this is something like that. Vishakriminyaya is told in a positive context. So like just as a Vishakrimi does not get harmed, it does not get harmed by the poison, similarly, somebody who like you, doing your karma, you will not be tainted with any kilbisham. You will not be tainted with any kilbisham. You will not, that kilbisham or papam does not accrue to you. You will not be tainted with that kilbisham. So that is it, kilbisham, papam. Then there is a small avatarika. Is the shloka clear?
Yeah.
Swabhavaniyatam karma kurvanaha.
Swabhavaniyatam karma kurvanaha.
Vishajata iva krumihi.
Vishajata iva krumihi.
Kilbisham na apnoti ityuktam.
Kilbisham na apnoti ityuktam.
So the comparison here is Swabhavaniyatam karma kurvanaha, that is one who is performing is Swabhavaniyatam karma. Kurvanaha means one who is performing it. Then Vishajata iva krumihi. Krumihi. Vishajata iva krumihi. Like an insect which is there in that poison. Kilbisham na apnoti. He doesn't get tainted by this kilbisham or papam. Iti uktam. That has been told. Then paradharmascha bhayavaha iti.
Paradharmascha bhayavaha iti.
So this is that line, the old third chapter. This is third chapter, 35th shloka. The same Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharma Swanishtitat Swadharme Nidhanam Shreya Paradharmo Bhayavaha. That was the shloka there. So Bhayavaha iti. Paradharmaha Bhayavaha. Bhayavaha means it is frightening. Why is it frightening? Because that will lead you to hell. So the social order was maintained in this particular way. You see, this is a particular person's swabhava is there. That swabhava determines his varna. And depending on that varna, the duties are assigned. The right man in the right place was the principle. If that is so, a Kshatriya should not abandon his duty. So similarly, some other person should not abandon his duty. A Brahmana should not abandon his duty and he should not say, no, I will happily do some, trade and commerce. So he should not do. A Brahmana should jolly well do some adhyayanam, adhyapanam, etc. Otherwise, who will do that? Right now, that is the problem of India. Right now, all the people, all the Brahmins who are in all villages, there is not a single Brahmin in any village. There is not a single Brahmin, and then there is a religious vacuum in these villages. And this vacuum is naturally filled by somebody else, and then who will do some prayers for you. Some other religion comes and then it occupies. It is something like a soldier who is on the border, some Indo-China border or Indo-Pakistan border. There is a check post like that. So in that check post, all these people are there. So suppose all these people, they withdraw. The soldier becomes a trader, suppose, let us say. So all the soldiers come back and happily Pakistan army runs into the country. So that is something similar is happening because a Brahmana has given up his duty. A Brahmana has given up his duty in the last 150 years or so. And then there is a very serious vacuum. There is a very serious vacuum which has not been filled. And unfortunately our Swamijis, they are not paying any attention to that. So that is again, that is the social problem. So anyway, we are coming to this Swabhavaniyatam karma. Where are we? Swabhavani kurmanaha vishayate vikrami kilpisham napnoti. Okay, paradharmascha bhayavaha. So this paradharma, we have all come into paradharma. But at the same time, while doing paradharma also, now because of social conditions, one has to go back, do some perform swadharma to some extent at least. Swadharma has to be performed to some extent, otherwise dharma will collapse. So that is the point. In olden days, okay, a Brahmana, okay, you are not supposed to desert your post. Jolly well you have to live like this. Jolly well you have to teach, you have to, that is why we have seen all our forefathers, they lived in absolute poverty. They lived in absolute poverty, but they were respected by the whole village. They were respected by the whole village and everybody came and touched their feet. So that was there. though this man was in a very poor condition. So anyway, so paradharmo bhayavahiti. Okay, anatmagnyascha
अनात्मज्ञश्च
nahi kaschit kshanamapi akarmakrit tishtati ityatah.
नहि कश्चित् क्षणमपि अकर्मकृत् तिष्ठति इति.
This line also is from the same adhyaya, third adhyaya. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karmakrit. That line, if you recall, nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karmakrit. So karyate hyavashah karma, something like that was there. So nahi kaschit kshanam means nobody sits even for a kshanam without doing any karma. You always engaged in some karma or the other. So that is it. Nahi kaschit. Kaschit means anybody. Nahi kaschit means nobody. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi akarmakrut tishtati. He does not stay idle even for a kshanam. You can't say, sir, I am staying idle the whole day. That staying idle also is one karma. Not doing any karma also is a karma. You are supposed to do a particular karma. Not doing it also that is karma. The sin of omission. So, anutishtati ityatah sahajamiti. Next shloka. Say this avatarika is over. Okay. Let us read the shloka. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadoshamapi na tyajet sarvarambha hi doshena dhumena agniriva vrutaha. So sahajam karma, hey kaunteya, O son of Kunti, this sahajam karma, sadoshamapi, even though it appears to be a slightly defective or say something which is having some defect or dosha, natyajet, you are not supposed to abandon it, you are not supposed to abdicate it. Sahajam karma, this again sahajam karma means going back to swabhava niyatam karma. Sahajam karma, swabhavam, and then swabhava niyatam karma, all one and the same. Sahajam karma, that which is born along with you. Sahaja. Saha means together. Ja means born. Sahaja. Something which has come along with you by nature. So that is it. Sahajam karma. Hey Kaunteya, sadoshamapi. You can break every word. If you break every word, you see the beautiful meanings. Sadoshamapi. So even though it is defective, natyajet, you are not supposed to give up. Then sarvarambhahi. He means yaspat, because sarva arambhaha. Arambhaha means arabhyate iti arambhaha. That is karma. Arambhaha means all karmani. Sarvarambhaha means sarvani karmani. All karmas doshena avrutani. Karmani doshena avrutani. Here arambha is masculine, karmani is napumsaka. So that is why avrutaha is given. Sarva arambhaha. All karmas are arambhaha. Doshena avrutaha. That is, they are all covered with some dosha or the other. You take Brahmana dharma, there may be some dosha. You take some Kshatriya karma, there may be some dosha. Some other karma, some dosha. All karmas are having some dosha or the other, just as there is a fire. Fire is also clouded with having some smoke around it. It does not mean that you have to throw away the fire. The fire is very much essential. You can't throw away the fire. So, dhumena agniriva. Agni is most important. Agni is very essential, very much needed. But then when you are lighting the fire, there is so much of dhuma, there is so much of smoke. In olden days, this was more relevant. If you want to cook also, if you wanted to cook also, you have to take some sticks and then you have to light a matchstick, and then even when the matchstick was not there, then again you have to do a lot of, you have to make a lot of effort, and then see that is lighted. And then you have to take a pipe and then blow some wind into that thing and then see that it lights up. There was so much of effort in lighting up that, stove, that country stove, let us say. So this sadoshamapi, natyajet, sarva arambhahi, dhumena agniriva. Dhumena, we have deviated from this. Dhumena agniriva. So Agni is very essential, but then whenever you produce Agni, there is Dhuma. So just as you can't throw away Agni, you can't throw away your karma also, thinking that they are having some defect or the other. So it is like that. Because Agni is something which is most essential. So is the time over? Okay, we'll see in the next class. So is the shloka clear?
Yes.
We will see the bhashyam in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.